Yo, what's going on YouTube? Thank you so much for tuning into my video. As you know from the thumbnail, I'm coming to you live with the top things to do in Seattle. Now look, I actually made this a dual trip and made a trip up to Vancouver, which is only about 3 hours away, so absolutely do that. But as you see, number one on the list is the Space Needle. I really enjoyed this. Now, I suggest going around sunset because then you can get a feel of how it looks during the day as well as how it looks at night. And of course, who doesn't like a good sunset? Now, the great thing is the weather was fantastic. It didn't really rain while being in Seattle, and it was about 85, and I like it warm. But it's pretty cool. These glass walls, they were a little creepy. As you see, got to take some pretty cool pictures up here, but just doing it was actually pretty scary. Now you'll go downstairs, and downstairs, as you see, they have this see-through spinning wheel, and that was terrifying. Now look, if you're going out to Seattle, number two is go to Mount Rainier. It's a little drive. I think it's about an hour and 30, hour and 45 away. But again, there's so many activities. Mount Rainier National Park is like one of the top national parks in the country. So, as you see, it's really scenic. You can get you a nice little workout in. Of course, they're gonna have restaurants and other things to do on the mountain range. So I suggest making your way out there. There was plenty of things to look at, plenty of pretty good photo taking places. And then they had horses that I was actually a little scared of. And they're not soft. I thought horses would be a lot softer than that, but no. But look, if you go out there, make sure you make your way out to Mount Rainier because you will have a good time. You might be tired, but a good time is coming. And of course, if you're going to Seattle, go to the Starbucks Reserve. It's a big deal there. Starbucks started in Seattle, so of course there are a ton in Seattle. But the Starbucks Reserve are way different. The food is, exclusive to the reserve. A lot of the drinks are exclusive to the reserve. I think they grind the coffee beans or make the coffee beans here. It's real factory vibe, but I liked it. And the food, it was actually pretty good. I appreciated the ambiance and the vibe of this place. But don't go here thinking that you're going to order what you get from Starbucks usually. Because no, they have a whole different menu and you're just going to have to roll with what they got. But if you're a coffee fan, you will appreciate it. Now, of course, you're going out there and make your way to Pike Place Market. Really cool. As you see, Seattle skyline is not too shabby, but this public market is pretty cool. I feel like I didn't emphasize it enough in the video. Inside of that building right there, it's like 4 different levels. It's restaurants. It's a lot of different fresh food that you can buy. So of course this might be more local tailored because nobody's buying a whole bunch of crab legs and flying back home with them. But it's still nice to see. A lot of tourists actually go to the Pike Place Market, and it's pretty cool and gross because they had that gum wall out there, and I lost the bet. I had to eat some. But yeah, if you're going out to Seattle, definitely make your way out to the Nightlife. It's pretty interesting. Now, I will say Seattle was a little bit sketchier than I imagined it would be. Now, if you go check out my Vancouver video, I think the same about Vancouver. It was a little bit sketchier than I thought it would be. A lot of homeless people, but the good thing about it is I feel like the homeless people out there are a lot nicer. They'll ask you how your day is going. They might not even ask you for money, but they'll compliment you so much to where you think like, I have to give them some money. So that's a plus, but it was just a little shocking realizing that, wow, the homelessness is pretty bad out here in Seattle, and they are scary homeless people. They don't look like, harmless homeless people. Now, this was about the Nightlife, which was ultimately pretty good. So if you guys are going out there, make sure you make your way out if that is something that you would like to do. Another thing on this list is going to the Salish Sea Tours as well as the Ferris Wheel. This was quick and sporadic. This wasn't really on the agenda, but you know, it was navigating around Seattle and then found this, and it was really enjoyable. I didn't realize how scary Ferris wheels was. This is my first time ever being on one. I always thought they were just like overpriced, but it was only like $10, so it was only like 15 minutes, but it was still a little creepy. But I mean, as you see, the views are great. Views are great, so if you can get over a fear of heights, which I actually don't have, if you can get over it for 5 minutes, you'll be fine. And I'm sure that many people have been on Ferris wheels as well. Now, once you get off, you're going to go through this entire building that I showed at the first scene, where there's a lot of different restaurants and shops in it as well. And I thought it was pretty cool. We could have sat down and got some food, which we ultimately did after. But, you know, if you wanted to early, you could. And right next door is the Salish Sea Tour, so we hopped right on the boat. And I like this. I really did, because what they did was they had a voiceover, somebody speaking on the intercom, giving us Seattle's history. And it was pretty funny. It wasn't like a boring history lesson. They made it interesting to listen to. So I feel like I learned a lot about Seattle. And this ice cream liquor mixture, I don't think it was great. So I wouldn't suggest getting that. But, you know, at least you got the opportunity to grab you a drink if you want to. So, but that pretty much wraps it up. But thank you again for tuning into my video. Again, this was a dual trip. So if you're going up to Seattle and you haven't had Vancouver on your radar, go Google an image right now, because you might want to go to Vancouver after seeing how it looks. It looks like Metropolis or something. But look, that pretty much wraps everything up, and I greatly appreciate y'all for tuning in. Also, go check out that video on Vancouver if you're deciding to make it a dual trip. I'm now signing out. Peace.
So the city decided to